One of my viewers just said he'd never traded before in his life. And then a few days ago he said he did his very first trade and made $270 straight away. And he said that he was able to do it after watching a couple of my videos. That's why you should subscribe if you haven't already. Let's jump into the trade. So this is the guy here, Big O E1K. We'll just call him Big O. Big O says, I'm a new trader and I just sold my first cash secured put option on PLS with a $1.76 strike price, earning 11 cents in premium. And don't worry, we're going to jump right into this trade in a sec so it'll make sense. I was hoping to be assigned, but it's looking unlikely at this point. And as you're going to see in a moment, that's actually a good thing. If I had been assigned, my plan was to sell a covered call as the next step. I'm starting with a small account and I'm gradually building it up. I've learned so much from your videos. Thanks, Brent. You're welcome, Big O. Another great one. I really appreciate the help. So I then asked Big O what was the trade that he did. And then he came back to me with this. And don't worry if it doesn't make sense because we're going to break it down in a moment. I recently sold 25 contracts of the PLS M89 $1.76 put option, expiring on August 21st, collecting a premium of 11 cents. This was my first trade, so I made sure to select a European style put option to avoid early assignment risk. PLS closed today at $2.16. This was 4 days ago. So as long as it remains above the $1.76 strike price at expiry, the position should expire worthless and I'll retain the full premium. Okay, so we're going to jump into this trade and we're going to have a look and see exactly what Big O's done and how he was able to pocket about $270 on his very first trade. Now you might have just watched my last video, the video I did just before I got this message from Big O, where I traded PLS options and I made $1,840. Big O sold put options, whereas I sold call options, and yet we're both making money on the same stock, which is one of the beautiful things about trading options. You can make money regardless of direction. Now the stock in question here that Big O sold some put options on was PLS, Pilbara Minerals Limited. Now today is Tuesday, August the 19th, 2025, and I'm having a look at the stock now at 117, which is 11.17 in Western Australia. Now we can see that today, Tuesday the 19th, PLS is currently trading at $2.26. You can see looking at the chart, there's been a little bit of a breakout here, where the stock was trading at about $1.76 or thereabouts, which is the price that Big O sold his put options at, which we'll talk about in a moment. But now it's trading at $2.25. So we have a look at the comment that Big O left about 4 days ago. His first trade, he sold some cash secured put options on PLS with a $1.76 strike price. When I asked him the options that he sold, they were the PLS M89 176 expiring on August the 21st. And he collected 11 cents in premium. Having a look today, this is the PLS M89 put option, expiring on August the 21st with a strike price of $1.76. Now he collected 11 cents for each contract. Today they're only about 5 cents. So even if he wanted to buy these contracts back, he's more than doubled his money because he sold them for 11 cents. Today they're 5 cents. Again, stay with me because this is going to make sense to you as I explain exactly what he's done in this trade. He placed the order on the 24th of July and he was able to collect 11 cents per option contract. So we have a look at PLS M89 option contract and we see that on the 24th of July, which is when Big O did the trade, 30 of them got sold at 11 cents. He sold 25 of them. So someone else must have bought or sold 5 of them at the same time. So what exactly has he done here? If we go back to the chart and have a look at what he would have been looking at on the 24th of July, that's around here somewhere. So 24th of July was this bar here. The stock opened at $1.79, went as high as $1.95, as low as $1.74, ended up closing at $1.90. So on this day, the 24th of July, Big O would have gone out to the market and said, here's a stock that's trading at about $1.78. I'd like to give somebody the opportunity to sell me 25 or 2,500, which we'll have a look at, for $1.76 each. And for that right, I'd like you to now give me 11 cents times 2,500. And he said, I was hoping that I'd get exercised. So he's literally saying, I want somebody to sell their shares to me for $1.76, but it doesn't look like they're going to. And we look at today's price of $2.28, given that today's already the 19th of August, these options only have 2 days left to expiry. Unless something crazy happens, I don't think he's going to get exercised in the next 2 days. So in other words, back here, July the 24th, Big O went to the market and said, hey, somebody sell me 2,500 PLS shares for $1.76 each. Now, a few days later, when PLS dropped down to $1.60, that probably looked like it was going to happen for him. But today, 2 days before expiry, PLS is trading for $2.28. I highly doubt it. And that can be a good thing, because Big O's collected $270 by giving someone the right to sell the 2,500 PLS shares to him for $1.76. Fast forward a few days, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So he just gets to keep the $270 and move on. So if I was to simulate the trade that Big O did on the 24th of July, I mean, obviously I can't do it today because the options are literally trading at 3 cents now. But he would have come into the market and said, I want to sell to open 25 contracts, because don't forget, the contract size is 100. So 100 times 25, 2,500. And he said 11 cents each. So at 11 cents each, 2,500 PLS M89 options, cha-ching, $275. Well, I've only got 270 here, but it's 275. Less brokerage and costs of about $35. I would end up, or in Big O's case, he would have ended up with $236.47.5 in his pocket instantly. And what that means is, being a European option, he's now obligated, if on the 21st of August, which is now in 2 days' time, someone was to sell 2,500 PLS shares to Big O, he has to buy them for $1.76 each. So he's basically committed himself to $1.76 per share times 2,500 of them, $4,400. So if on the 21st of August he has exercised and assigned these 2,500 shares, he needs to cop up $4,400. But for that, today, or in his case, the 24th of July, he was already paid $275 less costs. So if you take the $4,400 minus the, or in this case, the net of $236, that's $4,164 out of his pocket that he would need to come up with, divided by the 2,500 shares, means the shares are essentially costing him $1.66 each. Now, given today PLS shares are trading for $2.28, nobody's going to come to him in the next 2 days unless the share price falls over the next 2 days and sell their 2,500 PLS shares to Big O for $1.76. Why would they? They're going to get $2.28 on the market. So in other words, that $4,400 that Big O's set aside to potentially be exercised and have to take delivery of these 2,500 shares, in 2 days' time, that option will expire. He keeps his $270, moves on to the next trade. Now, if we jump over to timeanddate.com, we can work out exactly how many days there are between two dates. And in this case, I want to work out how many days between the 24th of July, when Big O first entered this trade, to the 15th of August, which is when the options expire. And as you can see, it's 22 days. So this whole trade from start to finish is only 22 days long, which is a nice, quick, short trade. Now, if we go across to calculator.net and look at their return on investment calculator, we know that Big O's basically exposed himself to a potential $4,400 worth of stock, because at $1.76 times 2,500 PLS shares, we'd already worked out that that's $4,400. That's how much he needs to invest if this trade were to be exercised. So if this trade isn't exercised, he gets that money back. He doesn't need to spend the $4,400. He gets to keep the $236. So the amount returned, the $4,400 that he didn't spend, plus the $236 that he gets to keep, for a total of $4,636. We know it was over 22 days. So basically, the investment gain on this trade is the $236. If he doesn't get exercised, that's how much he stands to gain, because he's just keeping the money that he took in as the option premium from selling 25 options contracts on the 24th of July for 11 cents each. So that's an immediate return of 5.36%. Cha-ching! But if you annualize that, because it's only 22-day trade, it's over 97%. Cha-ching! That's an amazing rate of return. Let's do the maths quickly. 24th of July, Big O sold 2,500 PLS contracts for 11 cents each. He collected $275. His potential exposure is $4,400, because if he was to be exercised assigned 2,500 PLS shares for $1.76 each. He's got to cough up $4,400. If you take the $275 that he's been paid, divided by the $4,400 that he may have to come up with to buy the shares, his investment times 100, that's 6.25% return on his investment in 22 days. But of course, he didn't get the whole 275, he got 236 because he's got to pay brokerage and costs, right? So if we take the $236 divided by the $4,400 times 100 is 5.36%. That's how much he's actually made on this one trade in 22 days. 5.36. There it is there. So I just wanted to share this trade with you because it's exciting, especially because this is his first trade. He'd never traded before. Literally 4 days ago, I got this comment on my YouTube channel from a viewer saying, "Hey, I'm a brand new trader. I just did my first trade. And after a bit of conversation back and forth, I've worked it out. He's pocketed $270 and $236. He says he's been able to do it since watching videos on this channel. So again, subscribe. And maybe you can start doing some trades like this. Let me know about them and I'd be happy to share them with the community as well. He said he'd been sitting on the sidelines for ages. He'd been watching heaps of other YouTube videos, but said a lot of them made it sound more complicated than it needed to be. He'd spent a few months of reading and learning, and then he opened up his first CommSec trading account. He did all the tests required to get himself up to a level 4. As an options trader, there's different levels. And to do the trade that Big O's done, which is essentially selling cash secured puts, you need to be a level 4 trader. He then goes on to say, yeah, but I was still a little bit confused about how to actually place a trade, as you would be if you've never done it before. That's when I found your channel, and it helped everything click into place. That's exciting, and I'm really excited and glad that I could have been part of that journey. And I appreciate Big O leaving his comment here. And in actual fact, it's comments like these that keep my channel going. Because I put out a video recently, and given that this is a new channel for me, and I've only got a handful of videos on here at this time, I literally asked on the video, hey guys, do you want me to keep making these videos? Because, you know, they take a lot of work. I enjoy making them, but when you're new, like I am to YouTube, it can feel like you're just talking into a void. So I literally asked, hey, do you guys want me to keep making these videos? Let me know. And I had a heap of people come back. Big O was one of them. Hey Brent, yeah, please keep these videos coming. I haven't found any other Australian-based options trader posting content on YouTube like you do. I find your material to be an excellent learning resource. As a newbie options trader who recently placed my first cash secured put option, having someone like you explain the thinking behind your trades is truly invaluable. I've already adjusted my trading strategy as a direct result of what I've learned from your videos. So yes, please keep them coming. I got a bunch of other comments too, and I appreciate them, they keep me going. Mr. Steve OC says, thanks Brent, your explanations are very easy to follow and therefore give me better understanding. I appreciate you taking the time to put these together. Makes options processes much easier to understand and therefore more confidence to get into the market safely, but with great strategies. Cheers, Steve. Thanks Steve, appreciate it. Brent, you're doing good work mate. I'm learning from your videos. Cheers, I appreciate it. Absolutely useful video. This channel and videos deserves way more views. Another wonderful and informative practical video, Brent. Keep up the great work. Question mark? Keep up the great work? Thanks. Yeah, thanks to you. I appreciate it. G'day, Brent. I'm glad you started posting again. This is a good one. Keep it up. Hi, Brent. Nice video. I like the way you explained the strategy and your reasoning for this. Really love the real-world examples you provide. Michael says, cheers, Brent. I've traded options for many years, and I've had many people ask about it. Your explanations and videos are clear and very well presented. Great work, mate. So this is exciting to me, because I can see that you guys are getting plenty out of these videos, so I'll keep making them. But more importantly, when I get a viewer who says he's brand new and never done a trade before, even after months of reading and learning, even after watching heaps of YouTube videos, even after opening a CommSec account and doing the test to get him to where he needs to be at level 4, he was still confused on how to actually go ahead and execute the trade until he found my channel, and then everything clicked into place. Well, that's exciting. He then goes on to tell me 4 days ago that he's literally made his first trade and he's pocketed some cash. That's exciting. And then follows up with, yeah, it's really good to learn skills like this. It's very rewarding. Well, yeah, it's a very rewarding life skill. If you can literally go to the market, find a trade, execute the trade, and see money in your bank account, that's very rewarding. So subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification so you get updates on the videos that I bring out. Please leave a comment, because like these few that I've just shared with you, they are what keep me going and keep me excited about creating these videos. And if you're finding them useful and helpful and practical, then subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.